City of Stevens Point Plan Commission meeting, recorded November 16, 2020.
At 6 o'clock, we will call the special meeting of the Stevens Point Plan Commission to order. Director Karnowski, could you please do a roll call?
Weeza.
Here.
Kneebone.
Here.
Arnson. Arnson.
No, I'm here though.
There we
Perfect.
go.
Thank you. Cooper.
Here.
Haynes. Hoppy.
Here.
Rice.
Here.
Perfect. And Commissioner Haynes was excused. She wasn't sure if she was going to make it or not. So I guess
Gotcha. So we have one excuse, but we do have a quorum, so we will continue on. I will bring up the first agenda item, which is the minutes and actions of the November 2nd Plan Commission meeting. They were included in your packet. Director, anything to add?
Nope.
Commissioners, any corrections or changes? Then I would entertain a motion to accept those minutes and place them on file.
This is Cooper. I will move to do so.
Thank you. Do we have a second?
I will second.
Seconded by Arnson. So we have a motion to accept the minutes and actions of the Plan Commission from November 2nd and place them on file. Any discussion there? Hearing none. Commissioners, please unmute yourselves and we'll do a voice vote. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Any opposed? Wait a little extra time for that one, just in case. Then the motion is approved. Item number 3 is a request from the City of Stevens Point to acquire an unaddressed lot on Water Street with the parcel identification outlined in the agenda. And that was for a dedication to parkland. So Director Karnowski or Director Kramer, which one wants to go first?
Director Kramer can take it. I will make a note that it is actually off of Riverview Avenue, not Water Street.
Oh, it's okay. I'm sorry. Yep.
That was a mistake.
Before Director gets started, I want to remind the commission that our job here is only to make a recommendation to council as to whether or not to, in this case, accept the land. The disposition of land by statute is required to have a recommendation from the Plan Commission. That doesn't mean that the council has to follow it or anything, but by statute, we are required to provide a recommendation on whether or not to acquire it. The use is not so much under our purview, nor is any particular conditions that might be future placement on the parcel. Director Kramer, I'll turn the floor over to you.
Thank you, Mayor, and thank you, Plan Commission, for getting together this evening to review this proposal. The memo outlines really the reason or how we got to where we are here this evening, but as a quick summary of several discussions in a few different months and several months of getting together, Judy Grholski approached the city earlier this year with a proposal in attempt to preserve and conserve a parcel in memory of her late husband. So when the approach came to the City Parks Department, the ask was that if we were interested, and the family's wishes was to have it as a park to conserve and preserve the property. She was not interested in looking at any sort of development. So that's why she ultimately came to the Parks Department. Where we're at today and what we brought to the Plan Commission here this evening for consideration is accepting the full 9.25 acres and turning it into John S. Grholski Park. In the packet, you'll see we did include obviously the location and the parcel boundary of the parcel, as well as the wetland boundary, just so you kind of know what areas of the parcel are high and dry and what areas have some wetland within it. You'll also notice that there is a private driveway within the parcel. We did do a title search. The driveway does service two private property parcels within that parcel, and this would not change that. Any sort of park development would take into that easement within the consideration, and we did go through that process to vet that we could find that in the title work. So what the Parks Department, Park Commission is recommending is acceptance of the 9.25 acres. And we would have, with acceptance from the Plan Commission, we do have a donation agreement, which would be taken later on by the Common Council with that approval. I also just want to make note, Judy did contact me. She was feeling under the weather. She was unable to be here this evening, but she did go ahead and let me make the presentation that I did, and I can answer any questions as best as possible for the commission.
Thank you, Director Kramer. Does everybody know Director Kramer from the Parks Department? It occurred to me that some of our plan commissioners, Director, may not know you. You want to take 30 seconds and just introduce yourself just in case?
Yeah, sure. I've been with the city, I think about a year and a half now.
Yep.
Took over after Tom Schrader retired. Originally from the Blanker Millador area, and excited to be here. So those of you, I think there's a couple of you I haven't met, but if you ever interested, feel free to reach out. Be happy to talk to you.
Yeah, great, great. So commissioners, I do want to point out one other thing. It was written in our packet, but we started this 10-minute walk to a park initiative a couple of years ago when I got in, and we are very close to 100%. This what the idea is that no address within the city should have more than a 10-minute walk to a park. We've got some gaps, and this actually goes to help fill one of those gaps. So I would be interested in hearing your thoughts. Are there any comments from the commissioners?
Yeah, Commissioner Arnson. First, I'd like to say hi, Dan. Nice to meet you. The first time I've seen you, I've talked with you email a couple times. Is there anything that comes into play regarding the cost of this? Or, I mean, I look at this, I think it's great. I'm all for it. My inherent skepticism says there are things attached to it. It looks like a pretty valuable piece of property.
So Commissioner, again, as I stated earlier, any of the conditions that may be required of this project are not under our purview. So if there is a cost, and there will be a cost associated with it, that's for the Common Council to determine and the Plan Commission or Parks Commission. But it is not under the purview of the Plan Commission to determine whether or not the future costs that are encumbered by the city come into play here.
All right, so just looking at this and ignoring everything else, I mean, I think it's great.
Okay.
Thanks.
Thank you, Commissioner. Any other commissioner comments or questions?
Mayor, if you may, I just have a few things for the Plan Commission, just kind of as an overview as well.
Let's do one other thing quick. Let's open it up to anyone other than the commissioners who have comments or questions before we go too far. Anyone at all? Okay, I think we're good. Director Konoski, the floor is yours.
Thank you. So just a few things for the commission to take into consideration as well. I'll bring this over here. Hopefully you can see that. This first map that we are looking at, so there are a few things that will still have to happen if the Plan Commission chooses to make a recommendation to acquire the land for park purposes. The first one, this is the city's official street map.
We don't see it.
You can't see it?
I do not see it. I see the one with the what I believe is the wetlands identified.
Okay, hold on. This is, how's that?
Yep, we see the street map. There we
go. So you can see that the city has made some acquisition for the extension of what is deemed Allowance Road, or we have reserved our rights within the apartment building that's located here. Canadian National no longer utilized, this is part of the Schrader connection now, so this is not a Canadian National rail spur any longer. But we have reserved some rights for the extension of Allowance Road. So at some point down the road, there will be a conversation about amending the city's official street map to exclude Allowance Road and then the unnamed road going north-south here as well. And then, of course, the future land use map. This is approximately the boundary of the parcel. It is identified for multifamily use. So we will also have to go through a comprehensive plan amendment when the time comes to, at some point, the city will have to take that into consideration. Not something that we wouldn't normally do anyway, but just some other planning documents that the commission should be made aware of before making a final recommendation to the city councils if there are two, with the comprehensive plan use and with the official roadmap needing to be amended as well. So those are just the two FYIs.
Right, and I want to add on to that too, because that is a very good question and some very good things to consider. The current owner of the property, it gets to say what they do with it. I know in our planning, we had seen that area as a possible area for development, multifamily. And then if we put multifamily in there, we would run a road through. That was our planning process. However, the owner has made it very clear that in no way, shape, or form does she want to see this parcel developed, and is willing to take whatever steps necessary to ensure that it doesn't get developed. So that's something you also need to consider, is that the redevelopment of this land to anything other than a conservancy or natural area, we've been told without question by the owner that that's not going to happen. Director Kramer, you have some comments?
Yeah, and I just wanted to add on that should this move forward and be approved this evening, we would also, with that comp plan and amendment, potentially be seeking a conservancy zoning potential in the future, but those would be things we would work out after this was a finalized acquisition.
Thank you. Commissioner Arntzen.
Yeah, I see that as big, as, again, I see it as a potential high value development. And if the owner doesn't want to see it developed, I think that's great. And adding parkland is a good thing, and just the natural resources, and again, the wetland aspect of it, and the everything that goes along with it. I think that's big.
Good.
Thanks.
Thank you. Any other comments from the commissioners or members of the audience? Then with that, commissioners, I would be seeking your recommendation to accept the parcel if you choose. Commissioner
Mayor,
Arntzen. Commissioner Arntzen?
Oh, yeah, no, I am recommending to approve the recommendation per the staff decisions. And I see there are, just looking at the recommendations here. But anyway, I move to approve.
I'm going to paraphrase your motion. And if I'm incorrect in any way, let me know. Your motion is to recommend to Common Council to accept the donation for future use as parkland?
Correct.
Thank you. Do we have a second?
A second.
Seconded by Hoppy. Any further discussion? Hearing none, commissioners, please unmute yourself, and I'm going to do a voice vote. All those in favor of recommending to council that we accept this parcel for future parkland, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Are there any opposed? Any opposed? Did I hear Commissioner Haynes? Nope, I don't think I did. I apologize. So by unanimous consent, the recommendation is to accept the land for future park use. And our agenda is exhausted at that point. Thank you all very much. This is kind of a timely matter, and we wanted to make sure that we crossed all the T's and dotted the I's. So I appreciate you taking the time out of your day to meet and consider this action. So with that, we are adjourned at 6:13, and you have a good evening.
A video of this meeting is available for viewing on the city's website, stevenspoint.com/videos.